What is up? What is good? Welcome back to another video. It's your favorite transparent YouTuber, Transparent Hoodie, back at it again with some new content. And some completely new content, because this time around we're not doing anything game related. We're doing an anime related video actually, because if you guys didn't know, now you're going to know that I'm a massive fan of One Piece, and the character that we're going to be talking about in today's video, Eustass Kid, is probably one of my favorite characters aesthetically, because I do like the way he's designed and I do like the way he looks. But recently, with him popping up in Wano country, me just sitting down and giving the character just a couple of thoughts and just figuring out, you know, what Oda might do with the character for this arc, because Oda really did boast about this guy for a little bit. Like, he always had intentions or plans to make Eustass Kid that character for Luffy. Arguably, I don't think Oda really needed to go that far with Eustass Kid personally, because he already has Blackbeard, and to me, I feel like Blackbeard is a way better rival to Luffy, especially given Blackbeard's and Luffy's history. So if Luffy were to have any type of pirate rival, I would definitely give it to Blackbeard. Blackbeard got it, you know. They already have that animosity towards each other, that boiling hate. Well, mostly on Luffy's side, I'm pretty sure Blackbeard at this point just don't even care. Like, he did what he had to do to get his come up, and he was just like, alright, I'm fine. So, yeah. I just wanted to make this video just to, you know, pick you guys' brains as the One Piece community, as well as probably just give you guys an insight on what I think Eustass Kid is kind of doing a little bit. And I don't know, like, for what I can understand about what Eustass Kid is doing, obviously it's black and white, right? Like, he wants to be Pirate King. He wants to be the king of the pirates, obviously. You know, like, that's why he's going through all these different accolades and going all through these different things, so he can, you know, get himself to that point, you know? But I don't know, like, from what I've been reading about Eustass Kid and how Oda's kind of been structuring him, Eustass Kid to me just doesn't sound, or okay, he sounds like that guy, but he isn't that guy, you know? Like, right now to me, Eustass Kid feels similar to Buggy in a sense, where we're getting all this talk and we're getting all this, you know, push for the character, but visually and what we've seen him do, it just doesn't correlate with what his past is. And even some of the things in his past kind of doesn't help him out either. Like, I understand Eustass Kid is a very... He's a character that's not focused on heavily, obviously, right? Like, the story's about Luffy, Luffy's crew, Luffy's adventure, so Luffy's going to get the primal focus. And whenever we do get a chance to see any side character in One Piece get a little bit of shine, it's very minuscule. It wouldn't come to a point where it overshadows whatever Luffy's doing, and the character that they do implement into whatever arc will just either help Luffy or they'll just be a tag along to Luffy's overall endeavor, right? Even Law's whole situation, like in I would pretty much say Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, even though everything was going on was pretty much Law's idea, plan, and kind of his motivation to, you know, get back at Doflamingo, it kind of got completely overshadowed by Luffy. Not saying that Law didn't get his, you know, proper arc for himself, but it did kind of get overshadowed by Luffy. And that's the thing that kind of sucks about a lot of these characters, that the only way we get information about them is through, like, info dumps. So my thing about Eustass Kid now is like, all right, let's break him down through his accolades of what's been verbally said about him in the series. So when it comes to Eustass Kid, we do know he's a little different from Luffy in the sense that he's not afraid to murder anybody. He's not afraid to kill anybody, right? Like, that's Eustass Kid's thing. Like, he just don't give that level of a fuck, and he's just willing to just kill whoever gets in his way, whoever irritates him, or whoever bothers him, right? Cool, that's fine. But my thing is, though, is just like, ever since the beginning of Sabani Archipelago, where Eustass Kid was first established, he didn't really make sense to me back then, because if you really think about it, what did he really do to warrant his bounty at the time? You know what I mean? Like, some context to that would be very, very well appreciated. Because to me, it's just like, at the time, we saw what it took to get $300 million bounty on your head. We saw what it took. But now it's kind of just like, for Eustass Kid, like, what did you do to get that bounty? You couldn't have possibly garnered that bounty just from killing low levels or just pillaging. Like, you had to have taken down some pretty high level dudes for you to warrant that bounty. And I'm not trying to compare the bounty system completely on what Luffy has done. I'm pretty sure there's other ways for you to possibly get a higher bounty. But to me, all around, the things that Luffy has done throughout the series, it does make sense to kind of justify most people's bounties based off of that. Whether it's fighting a Shichibukai, whether it's taking down a pirate that's a higher level than you. I've never seen any of these accolades shown for Eustass Kid. It was only stated. So like, Eustass Kid to me already, right off jump, when he was first introduced, he never really made that level of sense to me, because it's just like, what did you do to warrant your initial bounty to be higher than Luffy, when, one, it doesn't even look like the character did anything to even irk, bother, or just, you know, irritate the world government, unless that's gonna be stuff that's going to be implied later on. That would be cool. It is what it is. So, or maybe he took down some very powerful pirates in his heyday, maybe. But again, that's me implying a lot of things. Like, it doesn't really state anything for the character. So, I don't know. When it comes to Eustass Kid, that to me is like really, really murky waters. Another thing as well is just like, all right, now we're talking time skip. Again, you know, Luffy at this point, he's back in the game, he's back in action and stuff like that. Now after the war, Luffy bounty started up to about 4 million, but Eustass Kid, he has a bounty of 470 million, right? Again, like, what did you do? Like, did you do some like black market dealing? Because that was a heavy thing in Punk Hazard, like Eustass Kid being a part of like the black market. But again, like, that wouldn't necessarily garner you that $470 million bounty. And I just don't want to look at bounties themselves, because at the end of the day, like, bounties are just numbers, right? You can give anybody a bounty for anything. But my thing about it though is just like, is there a possibility that Eustass Kid has like a Robin situation going on? Is Eustass Kid like an affiliate of someone? Because now we're just getting into speculation territory. Because I don't know, like, if we're talking about his bounty, it makes no sense. But like I said, we're just going to deviate from bounty talk, because at the end of the day, bounty isn't a clear indication of the level of threat you are, the level of how much the world government really needs you captured, because at the end of the day, it's an inflated number. Like, stuff like that could easily be modified, played around with, and depending on, I guess, who's on the clock in the Marines, like, it could be, your bounty could increase from hundreds to 50 millions, you know, like, that's pretty much, it is what it is. So, another thing about Eustass Kid, power-wise, and I don't want this to be a conversation strictly on power, because like I said, like, there's so many different factors that goes into why your bounty, or why the government needs you to be captured at whatever point, right? But for Eustass Kid, is just like, I don't know. He went up against Shanks, and he lost his arm, apparently. At first, we thought that Eustass Kid went up against Big Mom, and Big Mom took his arm because Eustass Kid was able to sink 2 of her ships. Now, granted, like, that's impressive. Like, that's pretty impressive. Like, taking down the Yonko 2 ships, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, I feel like when it comes to Big Mom, I can confidently say there isn't much, like, there isn't a lot of characters in the Big Mom Pirates that I would comfortably say that aren't shit, you know? Like, everybody in the Big Mom Pirates are competent in a sense. Like, I don't think they're completely useless. So for Eustass Kid to take down 2 of her ships, I'll give him a little props for that. You know, I'll give that to you. But again, like, that's cool. But besides that, it's just like, if Oda really wants Eustass Kid to be that guy, that character for Luffy, I don't know, like, instead of kind of giving us backdrops for Kaido, backdrops for Wano, backdrops for Orochi, even backdrops for like the Kinemon and his entourage, I kind of want to see what he does for Eustass Kid. Like, I personally, I wouldn't mind a length of maybe like Doflamingo level chapters of them going into Doflamingo's backstory for Eustass Kid, because right now it's just like the character to me, he doesn't feel like a rival to Luffy. Yeah, he feels like, okay, he does feel like a competent pirate. Like, he's a competent pirate, obviously, if he's garnering this level of like notoriety for him to get this bounty. Two, Kaido wants to recruit him because I guess that's pretty good under your resume. You know, Kaido's interested in you and he's willing to torture you, if anything, so that you're willing to join his crew. So I mean, that's a good thing. But I don't know, like, I just don't see it yet, yo. Like, I just don't see Eustass Kid being that rival for Luffy. Like, the animosity isn't there. The hot-boiled, like, confrontation between the two isn't there. Like, when I see Luffy and Eustass Kid interact with one another, I don't know, like, to me, I feel like they're colleagues in, like, rival stores. Like, if One Piece was like a retail district and Eustass Kid owned one store, Luffy owned another store under the same company, that's how I feel that they are. Like, they're just co-workers at arms. Like, they do the same thing, they have the same ideals, but they just are rivals in the sense that they both want to get to the top, right? But when it comes to that level of animosity, and when it comes to that, like, grudge match I want to see, that's definitely Blackbeard to me. And I'm not trying to say that Eustass Kid can't be a rival, because he clearly is, like, obviously, like, right? That's why I use the whole terminology of the whole retail thing, right? Like, but it's kind of just like, for me, Blackbeard, or Oda setting up Blackbeard a little bit better in Wano, or whatever arc he plans on releasing Blackbeard in again, that's the character he should lean on the most. Eustass Kid, to me, I don't know, man. Like, he just doesn't feel like that character to be Luffy's rival. Unless, like, at the end of Wano Country, or maybe not even the end of it, throughout Wano Country, Eustass Kid just shows how much he's willing to get to the top to either sabotage Luffy, possibly attack Luffy, kill him, destroy his ship. I don't know. But if something like that doesn't happen, I just don't see it between Eustass Kid and Luffy. Like, Eustass Kid to me is probably the most underhanded, the most belligerent, and the most like underhanded, like, pirates. Like, this dude, like, Eustass Kid, I'll give him all that. He gives off that aura and he gives off that presence. But, like, besides that, it's kind of just like, I don't know, dude. Like, we need to see more from this character. Understatement, right? We need to see more from this character. And hopefully, Wano Country gives us that more. But, like I said, this is a discussion-based video. These are just literally my raw thoughts on Eustass Kid and kind of what he's been doing in One Piece. So, yeah, it's just, you guys let me know what you think. I'm 100% down for any form or source of criticism or any information or extra information that you have regarding the character. But, yeah, man, like, let's definitely talk about this. We'll chop it up in the comment section down below. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate your time. And you guys take care. Peace.